The need to build an affordable A-segment car prompted three major brands to collaborate. Toyota, along with Citroën and Peugeot, developed a small car designed primarily to fill the fleet market, but also to meet the needs of those needing a second car for city driving. It was so successful that a second generation was created. Today, however, we'll take a closer look at the first generation. They're often referred to as the Colin triplets, the Czech city where the Citroën C1, Peugeot 107, and Toyota Aygo were manufactured. They're technically and stylistically identical, though they differ slightly in appearance. Typical A-segment models, offered since 2005 with a choice of 3- or 5-door bodywork. Considerable savings were made in the design of the cars to sell them at the lowest possible price. The main buyers in Poland were fleets, so from a Polish showroom isn't exactly a desirable origin in this case. It's worth looking for imported and better equipped cars. Base versions didn't even have air conditioning. However, no Aygo had roll-down rear windows, only hinged windows. Another interesting feature is the glass tailgate. Beneath it lies a 139-liter trunk. It's also worth noting that the car seats 4. Operation, opinions, and faults. The car's design is as simple as was possible during its production period and acceptable to European customers. This simplicity is the key to its success, but it also presents some issues, such as body leaks and breakable components. Despite this, the car presents no problems, is relatively corrosion-free, and is remarkably inexpensive to repair. User-reported faults typically stem from intensive short-distance urban use. These include starter and alternator failures, battery discharge, clutch and steering rack wear, and suspension play due to the use of delicate, lightweight components, though inexpensive to replace. The engines are similarly simple, yet highly durable. The Japanese VVTi petrol unit, designed by Daihatsu, proved so effective that it was also used in the second generation of these cars. As if that weren't enough, after the French brands discontinued the model, Toyota used the same engine in a slightly modified form in its Aygo X. It's impressively flexible and economical for such a small engine. It's hard to say there are any faults. It's more likely to be wear and tear on some parts. The second power plant option is the 1.4 diesel. Despite the D4D name, it's a PSA HDI engine. Quite successful in its own right, but somewhat pointless, which is why it wasn't even offered in many markets, or was introduced late. This is pointless, as the slightly lower fuel consumption comes at the cost of poor dynamics and the risk of a potentially expensive breakdown. Repairs to the injection system and EGR system are particularly expensive. As a consolation, this engine has a simple turbocharger and doesn't use a dual-mass flywheel. The car was offered with a 5-speed manual transmission and a Sensodrive automatic. The latter doesn't pose any significant problems if properly maintained, but it's not recommended. It can be difficult to repair. If you need a small, affordable car for commuting or city driving, the Toyota Aygo is a great choice. It doesn't even need to be a 5-door to be suitable for these tasks. It boasts simple mechanics and low maintenance costs, as well as low depreciation. Common faults in the Toyota Aygo I. Asterisk, minor equipment faults. Switches, locks, door seals. Asterisk, premature clutch wear. Asterisk, in diesel engines, faults in the injection and EGR systems. Asterisk, corrosion of components under the car. Exhaust system, oil pan, rear suspension beam. What to look for? Petrol versions. What to avoid? Diesel versions, and cars from a Polish showroom with an unknown history.